Right here in Lagos, the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has directed that all unauthorized schools in the state be shut down. This order was handed down during a meeting with managers and proprietors of private schools in the state capital, Port Harcourt. The governor accuses school owners of hoarding information about the day-to-day running of their institutions.
We are going to teach every school that is approved by government to audit you, to know how many staff you have and how much they earn and how much you pay to the state government through the monetary revenue. So we are starting with a committee that will come to our various schools, look at the qualification of the teachers, whether they are qualified or not, how did you get them? Because part of the problem we have is that the Ministry of Education refuse to do their work. In essence, every school will no longer have permanent clearance. You have temporary clearance. Pending when we have certified your school that you have those who are qualified to teach. Because that also in a way has an impact on the quality of our education. All schools that have not been approved will be shut down.
River State's Governor Nyesom Wike. So a different type of education, lack of technological know-how and high cost of internet has been identified as the bane of uploading local content online in Africa. That's the view of Google's East Africa Public Policy and Government Relations Officer, Mr. Michael Murungi. He encouraged Africans to enroll in Google's free digital skills acquisition program to grow businesses, careers and education. Mr. Murungi, who was speaking during a visit to Channels Television today, also stressed the need for governments to partner with tech companies to ensure cheaper bandwidth.
We launched the Africa Digital Skills Program mid last year, and we have it here in Nigeria, we have it in Kenya, we have it in many countries in Africa. And what we are trying to do is to help remove this myth and debunk the myth that it is difficult to get online and to build a reputation or a business online. And we have a whole website dedicated to training young people from the basic skills of what does it mean to be online, how to build a digital profile, to even the more complex end of it in establishing a business online, building a business, profiling the users and the audience, and engaging with the market. So that is a big promise and a big investment that Google has made in Africa for African youth and for SMBs and entrepreneurs to grow their skills and advance themselves online.
The Ogun State government has flagged off the Homegrown school feeding program tagged Ogun Meals, with 875 schools across the 3 senatorial districts of the state benefiting in the first phase. Presiding over the ceremony at the St. Paul Demonstration Primary School in Abeokuta, the state capital, the Deputy Governor, Ibukuli Amosun, represented by his deputy, the State Governor, Ibukuli Amosun, represented by his deputy, Mrs. Yetunde Ononuga, said the program will improve school enrollment and discourage absenteeism.
Ask these children to choose between lessons and meal periods, and the answer may most likely be obvious. So in order to make learning more attractive to the young ones, there is a need to balance diet with education, and that's what the Ogun State government aims to achieve here. Officials of the state are here in their numbers at the St. Paul Demonstration Primary School in Abeokuta, keeping to the promise with the flag off of its homegrown school feeding program, and there is royal presence to back it up.
The school feeding program will provide a hot, nutritional, balanced meal to every child in primary 1 to 3 in our public schools. Every school day. We also expect that there will be improved school performance and improved health status of these pupils benefiting from the program.
The Homegrown food program is aimed at providing good and nutritious meals to these young pupils in public primary schools. And in Ogun State, 874 public schools are benefiting in the first batch.
Monitoring and evaluation, we have a robust plan in place. It's being done by functionaries of the state government. It's also being done by functionaries at the local government level, at the school level, and by the parents, teachers associations and the school-based monitoring committee. We are very ready to monitor this.
Currently, about 1,381 food vendors from 20 local government and 37 local council development areas are being engaged, and with raw food items needed, sourced from local farmers and markets, thereby providing employment opportunities for residents.
It's time for business news now. Here's Melinda Akinlami.
Thank you so much, Amarachi. Welcome to Business News. Nigeria's Securities and Exchange Commission says the Ministry of Finance has upheld the decisions of the SEC Administrative Proceedings Committee, placing a ban on the directors of embattled investment firm BGL Group PLC. In a statement released today, the Securities Commission says its supervising ministry has affirmed all the decisions taken by the committee that investigated allegations of financial misconduct brought against the banned investment firm BGL Group by the Rivers State Ministry of Finance and 31 other individuals. In December last year, some officials of the company were given lifetime ban from the capital market, while others were penalized. Nigeria's emerging energy market is undergoing a transition that will require patience despite the challenges faced by industries to provide power for their businesses. And that's according to the chairman of Forte Oil, Mr. Femi Otedola, who tells Channels Television in Lagos that the power sector will continue to adapt and improve over time.
Obviously, these are tough times, but every company has to look inward to adapt ways to save costs. Unfortunately, for power, for example, now, the cost of power, generating power for industries, for companies is so exorbitant that that wipes out all your profits. But eventually we'll get there. The power reforms needs time for the private sector that have invested heavily in the power reforms. It needs time. The problem with Nigerians is that people want to walk, they never want to crawl. You need to crawl, make mistakes, then you walk and you get to where you intend to get into.
It's 24 hours to the end of January, and Nigeria's equities market opens the last 2 days of the month negative. Bisi Adebayo has the details.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. Nigeria's largest company by volume dragged down the first trading day of the final week in January as total transactions slumped to 755 million naira in value from 143.03 million shares in 2,138 deals. Losses suffered by cement giant Dangote Cement and financial heavyweights like Stanbic and UBA, including Owando, dragged the all-share index lower by 0.42% to 26,217.18 and market capitalization to 9.02 trillion naira. In percentage terms, 7up, Caverton and Eterna led the gainers table. On the flip side, Continental Insurance, Owando and Nemeth were the top three losers for this session. ICO Group, Transcorp and UBA Group were the major contributors to market volume. And that's it on the Stock Market Report. I am Bisi Adebayo.
U.S. markets opened sharply lower today after the executive order by President Donald Trump. With more details in New York is VOA Channels TV business correspondent Jill Malandrino from the Nasdaq market site.
We have had not down a 1% drop in the S&P 500 in over 70 trading sessions, but U.S. stocks opened much lower this morning after controversy over the weekend under the new administration. President Trump signed an executive order on Friday that bans indefinitely refugees from Syria from entering the U.S., along with 7 other countries. This news rattled European markets overnight, while most of Asia was closed for holiday. This is on back of a record-breaking week as the S&P 500, Dow Jones Industrial Average, and NASDAQ Composite all traded through fresh all-time highs, with the Dow breaking the key 20,000 level. As you can see in the markets right now, we have come back below that. All eyes will be on the Federal Reserve and Janet Yellen for the first Federal Open Market Committee meeting of 2017 on Tuesday and Wednesday. Federal funds futures, a tool used to predict market expectations for changes in monetary policy, show odds of a rate rise at just 4% for this meeting, with the odds increasing by the May policy meeting. In addition to the Fed, the Bank of Japan and Bank of England meet, and while policy changes are unexpected, the first meeting of the year is widely anticipated. The all-important employment situation report for January will be released on Friday. This is the first of Trump's administration, while the earnings calendar is still very busy with a slew of companies set to report, including widely traded stocks like Facebook, Apple, and Amazon.com. From the NASDAQ market site in New York, I'm Jill Malandrino, and this is VOA Channel's Business News.
Major markets around the world are also reacting to President Trump's new immigration policy, closing mostly in the red. These are Monday's numbers. That's Business News. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Melinda Akinlami.